Free Grace United is built on unity. We are one church and one family spread out across the whole world. And even within our global churches, unity and oneness is something that we work so hard to maintain, which isn't always easy since our churches are separated by 8,000 miles. Every week we have pastoral training meetings and we meet on video, and then once per year we try to make an effort to actually go and visit them at all of their churches around the globe. We're blessed to live in a day and age where we can mentor pastors and leaders with technology and short-term trips, but even with all of these efforts, there was still something missing. Our team had never been all together in the same place at the same time. We consider ourselves to be teammates and family, and although I have had the privilege of meeting all of these incredible leaders, they have never been together in one place at one time, not to mention the fact that one of our pastors, due to safety, has never met any of our leaders in person. In 2024, when we were on a mission trip to Kenya, God started speaking to us and forming a plan on how we could bring them all together to one place. And that's when the first ideas of meeting together on the Turkey trip started to form. It would be a trip of biblical education and a family reunion all wrapped up into one. And so this trip was a special and massive win in so many different ways. From every corner of the Free Grace world, pastors hopped on planes, many of them for their first time, and made their way over to Turkey. For just a minute, I want to share a few of those wins with you. First, and this was one of my favorites, upon arriving in Istanbul, we were met by Pastor Ehtişam from Pakistan. And due to obvious safety concerns, we have been working with Pastor Ehtişam for 6 years, but have never been able to meet with him face to face. And so this was a literal answer to prayer. In 2024, Pastor Ehtişam had a ticket to meet us in Kenya for the first time, but after arriving at the airport in Pakistan, he was denied permission to leave. And so you can imagine how much joy that we had finally being able to give each other a hug and meet in person. Toward the end of the trip, Pastor Ehtişam started to talk about how he was baptized as a child, but he didn't really know what it meant. And so right there at the hotel, our united church family was able to speak a blessing over him and share that special moment with him. When everyone had finally landed and made their way to the hotel, this was the moment. All of the global pastors were able to meet for the very first time. This was the moment that we had been praying for. The moment that each of our pastors were able to embrace one another face to face after years of ministry, a memory that will go down in FGU history as one of my favorites. The Seven Churches Tour is packed with incredible, eye-opening sites that help you understand the New Testament in a deeper way. And as transforming as all of that was, it was in between the sites where much of the magic happened. Looking around and seeing Pastor Elwood lay hands and pray for Pastor Timothy, or watching Teresa from Kenya take a selfie and share a laugh with Amanda from Bangladesh, or Pastor Hilton joking about finding Pastor Ehtişam a wife and buying her a ring at the Grand Bazaar. These little moments of sharing life were a subtle blessing, but if you were looking carefully, you were watching a team become a family and coworkers becoming brothers and sisters. Toward the end of the trip, Grace stood up on the bus and shared how meaningful it was to them, that they were invited to participate, but also treated as equals, something that they rarely experienced at home in India. They experienced the love and acceptance of their global family. And these pastors, they're not charity or some background ministry in FGU. This is FGU. And more than ever, they could feel it. The Seven Churches of Revelation tour deals with archaeology, but also deals with prophecy. And so each of these pastors went home with a solid education of church history, as well as a new understanding of end times and the urgency to win their country for Christ. After this trip, these leaders are never going to preach and they're never going to lead the same again. Their ministry is going to be impacted. Another rare opportunity that this trip offered was that our church members in the United States were able to get to know their family overseas. Hearing about their faith stories and learning about what ministry looks like in other countries really opened our eyes and gave us a new perspective on the global church.
Meeting the global pastors was such an amazing blessing. Every week I see their faces on the back of the bulletin, and now I actually feel a true kinship with them. It was also so wonderful and such a privilege to hear the stories they all have of spreading God's kingdom in their countries.
After returning from the 7 Churches of Revelation tour, one of the highlights was meeting the FGU Global Pastors. You really understand their commitment and their passion for ministry and the calling they have on their life, and understanding some of them are dealing in hostile countries where Hindus and Muslims are wanting to kill Christians, and that's just what they live with day to day. It's so hard to understand, being from America, the difficulties they have. But thank goodness and thank God that we got to meet them, and I support them 100%.
In all of our years of having these global churches as part of our family, I've never been able to go to meet them in their countries where they do ministry. So this was just an incredible opportunity to be able to just give them hugs, look them in the face and tell them that they are loved, that they're part of our family, just kind of officially embrace them all together into our family. It was just a really powerful and a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful we got to do this.
So, of course, I've already met the pastors, but the best thing about going to Turkey and getting them all together is I fly to all these countries individually and talk with them, but I never get them all together as a team. And I got to spend like 8 to 10 days with the entire team, teaching them all together. It was so cool to have one team of pastors together from all over the world, just teaching them scripture and walking through the Bible. It was amazing. It was so worth our time.
We got to walk together, eat together, laugh together, pray together, and worship together. And I understand now what Paul was talking about when he writes, "We endeavor the more eagerly and with great desire to see you face to face." It's hard to have your closest allies 8,000 miles away, but we were grateful for the opportunity that we were given. As our team was trained, educated, and united, we can expect to see the global ministry spread faster and farther than ever before.